Good evening, everybody. Hopefully we are live and with you this evening. It's always a bit of a scary couple of minutes this. We had a box failure. The old box that we work with wasn't a very happy bunny and we had a bit of an issue with it. But to be honest, it's been a bit of a week of chaos, hasn't it? Not to harp and not to moan, but oh my goodness, last week we left you in a sea of issues, didn't we? We couldn't get the techie stuff to work and we had to have a new lead fitted. We thought that had fixed the problems, but it should and hopefully it will have. Then I was ill, full of cold and virus and God knows what, and not a nice place for me to be. So feeling much better before you all ask, which is very kind of you, very, very sweet of you. And I've had lots of lovely messages, so thank you. But I am feeling much brighter, thank you very much. But absolutely gutted to have missed our shows at liveshopping.vip. We are just waiting to reschedule them, but we'll let you know as soon as that has been done. But it has been a bit of a week of chaos, isn't it? And I think it's contagious, because I think even Gwen caught our chaotic week of chaos and ended up having a bit of a nightmare with her live last week too. So fingers crossed this evening all will go to plan. So with that in mind, before we even start nattering on, can you just let us know if you can hear us and see us? Because that's always the important bit, isn't it? Can you hear us? Can you see us? And are you with us? Because that's always nice to check. So let's have a little look and see if anyone has joined us so far while I've just been waffling. Oh, there's loads of you. Good evening, Kim. Good evening, Rosie. Good evening, Samantha, Barbara, Denise, Lynn, Sharon, Bethan, Yvonne, Porsche, Joyce, and Lou. What a joy to have you all here this evening. Thank you so much for coming along and spending your Monday night with us. Now, of course, I do mention the royal us. This is not just me. There is, of course, our dear Peter sat in hostage corner. Shall we say good evening to you?
Let's say good
Should
evening.
we, before we forget? Let's jump on
they've
over.
Forgotten what I look like. The poor buggers. Here I am.
You can't say that word.
Say that one.
So
Hello.
apologies already.
Sorry about that. How are we all doing? Hope you're all okay. Nice to be with you, and hopefully our little gremlins won't appear tonight. So yeah, all good. Have we all been behaving ourselves, or?
1 star on the chart for Peter already. So I don't know if behaving's good or bad, but we're going to take it away from you and bring it back to good news.
The pressure, I can't.
Under pressure. Should we sing? I don't know if we can sing either.
No, then you have to pay royalties, wouldn't you?
You can do 30 seconds.
Can you?
30 seconds, apparently.
Oh, okay.
So whether we could get away with 29, but I don't think anyone wants to listen to 29 seconds of us singing Under Pressure, because that ain't good for anybody. Okay, let's do some bits and bobs before we forget. On our Monday night natter last week, we was going to give away one of Sue's cards, this card in particular, and we told you that we'd pick a winner, and then I was ill and totally forgot all about it until I was sat here writing the cards earlier, and I thought, hang on a minute, on the card for last week it told us that there was going to be a competition and we was going to give this away, and I've still got this and we need to tell somebody they've won it, because if not I might get in trouble. So our winner for this card, handmade by Sue Wilson herself, live on Hobbymaker, is going to Diane Hines. So Diane, if you are watching right now, could you please send us an email to jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com and let us know where you'd like that card posted, and we'll have it popped in the post to you. Whilst we're chatting winners and all things important, let's chat homework, shall we? So this week we have been doing #white. It has been an absolute joy to see so many of you take part in this week's challenge. We had 24 entries, which is amazing. So thank you very much to all of you who were brave enough to take part. And I say brave enough because you shouldn't have to be brave. It isn't about being brave at all. But I do also really appreciate the fact that when it's you that's hovering over the fingers or over the keys to hit enter and to post your posts, it can be nerve-wracking. I share endless posts every day, all over pages, which probably does all of your heads in. But even for me, it's still nerve-wracking. So I know when it comes to sharing your creation on a group that many of you might find that a little bit nerve-wracking. So thank you for taking part and thank you for sharing with us. Just as a little reminder, our homework competitions are never done via a talent-based system, because you're all too talented for us to sit here and pick one between the other. Genuinely, I don't think that's fair for you or for us to actually say, well, that one's better than this one, because if that isn't the case, is it? It's like your children. One might be really good at one thing and another be really good at another thing. And how do you sit there and pick? You might pick, I don't know, I'm not a parent, but we're certainly not going to make you do that, or we're not going to do that with your handmade cards, because that's just not fair where we are. So it is of course chosen by random, and this week's random winner, and I'm gonna do this wrong, so I'm gonna apologise in advance because I'm gonna attempt it and it's gonna go wrong. Darlene Bizanu. I feel that's a different pronunciation to what I've had at any other attempt.
That's a new one.
That's a new one, isn't it? And it's probably nowhere near right. So we're going to go with Darlene Locks, with the word in the middle that I can't pronounce, so I'm very sorry. I'm not very good with any pronunciations. I don't know why. But I was delighted to see you'd won, and it was, of course, a lovely card. So thank you very much to Darlene and to all of you for taking part. This week's homework is already live and available for you to get entering. So if you haven't already thought about taking part, we would love to see you take part. As we see with last week's, you have a 1 in 24 chance of winning. Now, Darlene, I didn't mention this, but Darlene, can you also email us at jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com? Look to the independent adjudicator.
Didn't sound
right. jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com.
Yeah, I think it was the out at the beginning that sort of threw.
Oh, I don't know.
Good.
Okay, that is the right one. If you could send us an email there, please, telling us your address. We will have a goodie bag worth over £40 of Creative Expressions goodies popped in the post to you. So, going back to all of you who might be tempted to enter into this week's homework challenge, you, of course, have the chance to win a new £40 goodie bag of Creative Expressions goodies, and you've got a 1 in 24-ish chance of winning. So it's not a high ratio, is it? Which is what I love, because if anyone's up for the chance to win, it's good odds, it's good proportions. If you was backing a horse, that'd be good numbers, wouldn't it? Say this like I ever understand horse racing, but it's kind of that idea. So 1 in 24, not a bad ratio. Now, it might be more than 24, there might be 50 if you enter this week, and I hope there is, but it's still a good amount to have to compete with to get chosen at random to win. This week's homework challenge is an autumn theme. Now, we've kept this very open because all we're really after you doing is sharing with us something that has autumn vibes, autumn feels. We haven't even set you a colour scheme that you have to adhere to, because I think you can look at autumn and you could go off on, of course, your oranges, your yellows, your browns, but you might also think of that as your burgundies and your purples and kind of that colour scheme to it, or you might be going a bit more Halloween-y with your autumn. Autumn means different things to different people. So autumn is your challenge, and I don't mind what colours you use within an autumn theme, but it's got to have that autumn feel to it. It needs to be autumn themed, it needs to have that autumn colour scheme somewhere kind of included within it. And it can be done on any size project. So this isn't just about cards, you could do a canvas, you could do a scrapbook page, you could do home decor, gift bags, whatever you wish for it to be. If you're bringing your paper crafting into it, to us that's a project that we want to see. So any size, any colours, hashtag autumn to enter, and of course your autumn theme and autumn colours of course are needed. And you have till 5 PM on the 29th of September to put your entries into the group. If you have no idea what I'm waffling about, because this is the first time you've caught one of our lives, our homework takes place over on our group, and that group is called Creative Expressions Official Group. It's a group with over 15,000 people in it who all share their creations, ask us questions, and are basically one giant happy community of crafters. And on it we set weekly events. You can find the events under the little tabs on the top, and you can see the upcoming homework, not only this week but also next and tomorrow. The following week will also be posted so you can plan ahead. It's a great little community, and if you're not already part of it, it'd be a joy to have you on that group. Whether you wish to take part in the homework or not is up to you, but it'd be lovely to have you over there and to share and comment and be part of the family. Okay, I think that brings us up to date with everything I've got to waffle on about and tell you. What do you think? Do you agree?
I do. I think you've done very well.
Oh,
I think you get a gold star, whereas Kim agrees I get a bad star.
I think he does get a bad star, doesn't he, Kim?
Naughty Peter.
Naughty, naughty Peter.
Naughty.
Wonder how many other naughty stars we can get him this evening. It's not hard to
0.
lead him astray.
0.
I can tell you now, not hard at all. Do we have any other questions or comments we need to know about, or can we move on to turning back time and I could
here
sing
we go.
again for you?
Could you do 29 seconds of that?
I could possibly make Cher cry, not in a good emotional way, in that kind of what's this poor guy trying to do to my wonderful song kind of way.
Alison's listened to us on the way back. I don't know where she's coming back from, but she's not in the Xander Panda tonight. Maybe she's singing along.
Where do we feel Alison's been and what vehicle was
She
she
was at
in?
Glitter Bits last time, wasn't she? But I feel she's
I feel we need to
too
know
late.
more about Alison's antics.
Diane's keeping
Alison,
quiet.
confess all. Okay.
Diane's keeping quiet so she don't get herself in trouble.
Diane could never be in trouble.
She couldn't.
That's horrible. Okay, a couple of bits I want to tell you about before we move on to turning back time. Today, in the warehouse, we have had a bit of a top-up delivery. You know, I always like to tell you when things have gone out of stock, and I always like to tell you when things have come back in stock, because I know what it's like. We all have these things that we've got on our wish list that we've been keeping an eye out for, and then when we go to order them, they're out of stock at our favourite stockists. So I just want to let you know that today here at HQ, these 3 items under the Jamie Rogers Crafts brand have arrived back in stock, and the long-awaited under the Jamie Rogers collection with Creative Expressions poinsettia rings. Now, I know lots of you have been sharing some incredible creations with this on our group, and I have a feeling that you are responsible for why this sold out overnight. We have been waiting a few weeks now to get this back in stock. So again, keep an eye on your stockists. For all of the 4 dies I've just shared with you, no matter the brand, they will be heading out of the door towards our stockists in the coming days, I'm sure. If you're not too sure of your favourite or local or nearest or stockists that you haven't even yet heard of, then check out the stockist list on the website. You will find the website www.jamierogerscrafts.com. There is also a attached comment to the thread of comments in the Facebook chat bit. Can you tell I'm not very techie? That gives you a link to the stockist list. So if you haven't already found it, go and check that out and you will find them. And then you can, of course, track down these items, or maybe even give them a prod and tell them that they are back in stock and that they are now available once again. Because, of course, our stockists are very, very, very busy people, and they might not have yet seen that these are back because they've only arrived back in stock today. So we'll pass them off to Pete so he can send them back to the warehouse ready to be picked and packed and sent out the door. Now, before we also turn back time, we're going to once again talk about something in the current. We are, of course, going to talk about Die of the Week. Today sees the launch of our brand new Die of the Week. This one is the More Candles, the Bigger the Wish. It is by Sue Wilson. It is one of her all-in-one collection. I really genuinely love this collection. And I'm going to be honest with you, where I've been off ill, I haven't had, complete honesty, haven't had time to make the Die of the Week cards at all. I come in this morning and we had a couple of meetings this morning, so I weren't in at 9 like I should have been. I think we got here at about 11. And by about 1:30, I'd made all 7 cards for the Die of the Week posts this week, because Tracy, who we were discussing earlier, we haven't yet introduced you to, but we're going to put up a post introducing you to Tracy. Tracy is one of our new members of staff here at HQ, and she's actually doing quite a lot of the social stuff, so it'd be really lovely for you all to get to meet her. So keep an eye out on the page over the next few days, and we'll pop up a little introduction post, and we'll ask her a few questions and bits and kind of delve in and see what we can share with you about Tracy and her world, and of course what her role involves here, so that when you see her name pop up at the end of comments and replies, you know who she is and why she's answering you. But I had to hand these cards off to Tracy because Tracy was trying to get them off of me so she could schedule all of the posts for the rest of the week. So literally in about 2.5 hours, 3 hours maybe, I'd made all 7 cards, and that's what I love about a die like this. It does a lot of the heavy lifting for us. So actually we can just strip things back and make some pretty cards. Now, I'm not actually meant to share many with you, but I do equally want to share with you, of course, the card that I shared today. This is the one that Tracy chose to post today at 4. And I'm going to, just to show that I did these, because it'd be easy for me to stand here and go, oh, I've made all of these today, and you not actually see them. We're going to flick through them really quickly, and you're going to have to pretend when these come up at 4 o'clock every day that you've not seen them, because I'm not allowed to show them to you, but they will of course be coming up every day at 4 o'clock so that you can see them. So keep an eye out for those. This die recommended retail price is $15.99. It is one of, I think, 4 in this collection that we have available. At some point, we might send Peter to the warehouse to see if he can find them. So let us know in the comments. Do you want a bit of a challenge Annika moment with Peter? Should we send him to the warehouse to see if he can find the others? Let us know in the comments, because if he can, we'll send him. Okay, passing those off to Pete once again. And now we are going to do a bit of a rewind time bit, because last week our die of the week, which I should have told you about last Monday, but the gremlins got in the way, was this one, which is our Swirly Scrolls. Again, a very different die to the one we're talking about today, but a really, really lovely one. This one has 2 dies within its set, and I'm going to bring them out so you can see them, because I think sometimes actually it's when you see the dies you get to see more about them and you understand what we're on about a little bit more. So this has 2 dies. You have an outside edge that runs around the outside of it, obviously, hence the words outside edge, and then you have your main panel. The main panel doesn't have the edge attached to it, hence why it is separate. That means that when this cuts, it will stay in your card. So if you wish to cut that as like an aperture on the front of your card, you can literally do that. So if you was to cut it into here, that would then open and it would still be attached on the spine of your card, and you would have that really lovely filigree lacework cut into it. If you wish to trim it out, then of course you've got the outside edge that can go around it, that's going to then trim it out to be a freestanding panel. Now, whenever we're talking about big dies like this one is 18 by 13 centimetres. Don't forget, we can trim into them. We can trim these down to be much smaller areas. We can make some really fun pieces with them. We can use them for our square cards. We can use them for our DL cards. We can pick what area we want to take from it and work with. So lots we can do with this one. The recommended retail price for this one is $22.99. On the inside there is some inspiration from Sue, which is always lovely because it's really nice to see what the designer's actually done with it and how she's chose to use it and cut into it, how she's put her patterns behind it, how she's turned it into a triptych, how she's used her big words to cut into it and sunk those back inside it. So loads of different ways in which you're going to be able to use this too. Just to give you a little bit of inspiration from what I've been doing with it, and you will have seen all of these have all been posted this week, or last week I should say, at 4 o'clock every day on the Creative Expressions main page. So you can see I've brought it into Christmas cards with our gemstones glitter and a lovely vellum wrap. This one I've done a different technique with. I'm going to have to share that with you at some point, but that one's quite a fun one. We'll talk about that later maybe. Then we've got one here where we've layered it and shadowed it, so silver mirror underneath, and then some flowers and some ferns, and I love these ferns. And this of course is brought in with our different flowers. I'm saying different flowers because I can't remember the name of them. I knew it when I started the conversation, but now I've lost it. What's that flower?
Cosmos.
Cosmos? Could be Cosmos, couldn't it? I think it is Cosmos. So yeah, and then I added on a couple of little butterflies, little love word coming in from the side there. This one using some of our pearl card being brought in and bringing in another one of our flowers and some of our lavish foliage. And this one's fun. This is a technique that I learnt from Gwen, where she actually takes her dies and instead of cutting them, she uses her rubber mat to emboss them. So instead of all of the pieces coming out the middle of it, it's actually embossed into it. Now I could have used the side that was embossed, but actually this side really got me going. I thought this was great. This is actually kind of cut instead. So this is the reverse of it. So not the emboss, the deboss side of it, as such, if you will. But where it's kind of been pushed down with a rubber mat, it really, I don't even know what I want to say. It looks like engraved maybe. I don't know. But it looked really cool and I really liked it. So I went for this side instead of the other side. This one's nice because this is bringing in Sue's background panel, but bringing in our patchwork swirly tile and putting that on the top instead, but you're matching your swirls running through the project, which looks quite lovely. And then this one's nice as well with a little pop of yellow because it's kind of nice to bring in some bright colours, isn't it? So if you'd like to see more of those posts or more of those cards, look back at the posts every day at 4 PM on the Creative Expressions page and you will of course see those that have been posted. Did anyone challenge you to go to the warehouse?
They did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Have you been to the warehouse?
I might have done a little sneak
What did
out.
you find in the warehouse that you can share with us?
I found 2 more.
Oh, is there? There's a third. There's
Is there a
there's
third?
there's a third one.
Yeah.
Let your sparkle shine, and it goes in a like pattern. You're missing all of this.
I'm missing the...
This is why we need a director who actually does the box instead of me. Because what you're missing is me going to Pete. Goes like that. Goes in and out like that. Do you not know the one I'm on about? It's a really lovely one, but it does. It kind of.
What does it do?
Yeah. But we won't send him again, or shall we?
You
Tell
will.
us he was in trouble. Might be good to get him back out there. We'll have a little look. So these are 2 of the options that of course go with the first one that we looked at. And I'm going to bring this in as well because it's actually nice for you to see all 3 together and see how they're going to look for you. So you have got You're Never More Than a Thought Away. The more candles, the bigger the wish. Of course, this is the die of the week one. And then the last one is every day is a new adventure. I can see lots of snippability with these as well. Maybe you're going to take those words out. Maybe you're going to turn that into a more open frame. Maybe you're going to cut and layer the butterflies. Maybe you're going to layer the words. Maybe you're going to remove the words completely and have that as an open frame. There's lots and lots of play there. There's lots and lots of scope. Mary says she's got the sparkle one. See, I'm not dreaming it, Peter. There is a sparkle one. I think we should send you back running. We'll see if they tell us to send you back running.
I'll go looking for the... Yeah.
And then last things. Okay, I promise in a minute we're going to do something or take you through some stuff. I wanted to highlight this for you because if you haven't seen this, this has to be one of the biggest bargains we have ever bought you. This is our embossing folder set. There are 5 embossing folders in this. They are all 3D embossing folders. They're nice deep ones. This is currently on offer on Hobby Maker for only $19.99. It's a half price deal. I know that hundreds of you have snapped them up, but if you haven't yet seen them, I did check before we went on, they are still available on Hobby Maker.
You after the gold stars.
I just checked, I thought I'd better check. I love a bargain, and if I find a bargain that I can tell the world about, I'll tell them. And this I thought was a great one. So they're still available on Hobby Maker. If you go on, I literally search Creative Expressions embossing folder bundle, thinking the search engine's going to have no idea what I'm on about, especially with the 15 spelling mistakes I've put into this. And it come up. I was well impressed. So if you pop onto Hobby Maker, you will find these. This is a great bundle. I know that Ian yesterday shared on our group some inspiration with this one, I believe, actually out of this set. But they're all beautiful. It doesn't matter which one we look at and which colour we look at. They're absolutely stunning. And when you see the level of embossing that's achieved with these, it's off the charts. These are so lovely. Whether you're going to bring in your waxes, whether you're going to colour them, whether you're actually just going to leave them black and white, it doesn't really matter. You can't really go wrong with these. Every single one of these is a winner. And of course, then on to top it all off, in that set, you're also going to get your squares as well, your interlocking squares. So a beautiful background that goes with so many different collections and themes all throughout the year. So if you didn't see those on the Hobby Maker show, and this is the first you're hearing about them, I know there is limited stock of those. Grab them before they're all gone. Now, I have a feeling that you've possibly already seen a lot of our sort of chat about our latest releases, but I did want to take you through it just in case you haven't. And we're going to do it a bit quickly, and then we're going to do a demo. So if you haven't already seen it, buckle up as we take you through. And we'll start off with my one. We're going to do our DL collection. Now, this is now available from stockists. So if you didn't catch the 10 minutes we were here for last week because of the tech problems, you might not have heard the list of where this is available. And I didn't actually check. There might be some new additions to this list, but I'm going to go with this list for now. So sorry if I've missed anybody. But if any stockists are, of course, watching, and you would like to drop a link in the description, in the comments, to who you are, that's what I'm trying to say. Get there in the end. If you'd like to drop a link in the comments to your store, or if you don't have an online store, just a few details about who you are and where you are, as one of our stockists, we would love you to do that. As you all probably know by now, here at Creative Expressions, we do not sell direct. We only sell through our stockists. So if you're watching this and you're looking at these products and you're thinking, I really want to get the die of the week or one of the panels Jamie's about to introduce us to, then that's great. You're going to need to go to the stockist list, or of course click one of the links that one of our stockists shares with us in the comments. But we don't have a website where you can purchase from. We do have a website that you can go and have a little look around, and there is lots of inspiration on there, and you can see all of the products that we carry. So it's actually a really good place to go and have a little look, because you might also go and see that die that Pete hasn't gone and found from the warehouse. So you could see it. He's not listening now, we've lost him, so I can pick on him a little bit. He's tuned out. I think we're good. Okay, DL panels. Let's show you these quickly, shall we? So this is our wonderful world of DLs. This is our grand DL panel, and these all work in the same way. We have a main filigree panel or picture panel. We have an outside edge to that picture panel. Just like that die of the week we looked at, this is a separate die, meaning that this panel can stay in your cardstock if you wish to, or you can use the outside edge to trim it out. If we leave the outside edge off, we can choose where we trim it, whether that be on a guillotine, whether it's with another nesting die, whether of course it is with the die that comes with it. All choices that you will have to be able to explore and play with. On top of that, you also get this frame die. Every one of these DL panels has a different frame die. Each one of them has different deboss work running around it. I probably won't get you to see all of these because they're not always clear to see on camera, but this one you might be able to pick out has got like a debossed oval running all the way around it, a little mark, a little debossed detailing. These can be interchanged throughout the whole collection, so it doesn't matter if we're looking at the grand DL panel or maybe the butterfly panel. You could bring in the wavy line from the butterfly panel and put that with the grand DL, and you could bring in that lovely debossed oval and put that with the butterfly, just as an idea. But it's going to work across the board with all of the different ones, so you can have perfect matching panels of different pictures but same matching edges, or maybe you've got one particular edge you really like that you want to use for each of them. Lots and lots of choices, lots and lots of ways to explore. Now this of course is our butterfly panel, so exactly the same again. You've got your main butterfly panel, you've got your outside edge, and this one you have that wavy edge debossed frame to go with it. Then we have the dragonfly. So the dragonfly, once again, separate edges can be left in, cut out, up to you, and then we this time have a debossed circle dot going all the way around the frame instead. Now I'm going to skip forward in my boards to bring in our lovely exotic flower one. Now this one has a couple of tricks to it. First off, it matches perfectly with the swirls and flowers you're going to find in the two previous ones I've introduced you to. So if you have a little look here already, you can see it coming in, can't you? These swirls, these flourishes, they're going to coordinate perfectly with that dragonfly. Then when we look to the flowers and the swirls in our big butterfly panel, we can also see that that's exactly the same flower, or close enough, giving you the ability that you can actually do that panel and then put this panel as your next option. So maybe, and we're skipping ahead a little bit, maybe you're going to do a project like Wendy did here. Wendy's, oh, damaged it, Wendy, we'll show you this side, where you're going to use the dragonfly panel and you want to continue that going around your 3D project or around your triple panel card or something like that. But you don't wish to go off and use a different pattern. Looks great if you do, like Wendy did here, but you might prefer to say, well, actually, I'm going to add in the matching flowers and have those in here instead. Or, of course, you could go for the butterfly, knowing that all of the swirls and the flourishes and the flowers are going to coordinate going throughout the project. So that's kind of party trick number one to this set. Party trick number two is that the flowers match up to our individual flowers and leaves. So we then have two sets, flowers and leaves, $13.99 per set. Your leaves do this board that you can see here, giving you back panels and front panels that can then be layered together if you wish, or used independently. The choice is yours, and you're going to get those in 4 different cuts as such. So 8 different options, and then of course you can bring them together if you wish to, giving you another 4 options. Then you've got your flowers. So these flowers, once again, these are actually going to come in and you can layer these over the top of these ones. So if you would like to build these up over that panel, they will fit perfectly. Because you can build up your colours, you can build up your patterns, you can build up your backgrounds to make those pop even more if that's something you would like to do. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it just gives you options. Because what do we love? We love options. So if I bring this in, just as a quick example, this one Diane's done the flower panel, then she's brought in these flowers, cut them and layered them over the top. Just to give you a little glimpse of what I mean about that ability to layer. That's what we're aiming for. That's the freedom that having that matching die set gives us. It gives us that ability and that freedom to create. So you've got your 2 different flower sets, or flower and leaf sets, to go in with your different board or DL panels. Then there's 2 more DLs to introduce you to. You've just seen this one on that lovely project that Wendy's created. This one, of course, is our fretwork DL. Now, if you're looking at this one and thinking, I've seen this before, what's he doing to me? I know that panel, I know that look, what's he up to? You're right, we have done very similar previously as one of our sections in our kaleidoscope and one of our patchwork tiles, those little square dies. And this is what I love doing, because it might mean that you're going to multi-cut this as a background, then build up the kaleidoscope on the top of it. Or you're going to bring in that matching little tile and place that on here as a diamond, knowing that it's all going to coordinate and run through. And I'm sure this isn't the last you will have seen from this panel. That isn't a hint, that isn't a confession. It's just me absolutely in love with this panel, knowing that if I can fit this pattern in somewhere else later down the line, we will absolutely do it because I really love this one. Again, different edges. So this one has your debossed scallop edge in it, just to give you a little glimpse at that one. Then lastly, we have got your happy birthday panel. Now this is very similar in a sense, or style, kind of, to our die of the week this week. So when we're coming to easy, quick, simple cards, it might mean that you want to go for DL ones, and if so, this panel is going to work really nicely for you. And just like when we were chatting about them panels earlier, start looking at the bits you could snip out of this and the different pieces you could take away from it or add to or build up with. This one has a really cool edge as well. This time it's just got a debossed line running around it. So it's a very elegant style frame. Once again, whether you choose to use that with this one or with any of the others, choice is yours. Now, all of these that we've had a little look at, every single one of these that we've gone past, these are all $19.99 each. So if you've not seen them before, then you might need to know that bit, but go and have a little look around at one of our stockists. I'm sure you're going to find them available, but they are $19.99. The flowers and the leaves, those sets are $13.99 each on their own. Now, just before we do a demo with this collection, let's introduce you to our final stage of this. Now, I know many of you are going to be aware of that we do these. These, of course, are our mats and layers collections. And this is our brand new DL mats and layers collection. And this gives you lots and lots of fancy edges that are going to fit perfectly around those panels. They're going to fit perfectly to give you a different look. So if you don't wish to use that debossed frame, then you can add these onto them instead. And that's going to work great. So you've got plain lines, you've got fluted, we've got decal, we've got scalloped, and we've got postage. Now the postage, the scallop, and the decal all have a bit of a party trick to them. Each one of these comes with a separate detail line, and the detail line is not attached to the outside edges. That detailed line can be used completely independently on its own. So when you look to the middles of these boards, and you can see here how we've just added that sort of dash line in multiple times, that's what we mean. You could choose to do that as many times in as many places and in as many locations as you wish to, or of course you can team it with one of the outside edges to cut it as a freestanding item. So like this time we've used it of course with the matching postage edge so that we have that detail running around the inside of it, but we don't have to. That could have been on its own, or the postage edge could have been on its own. Or we could have used the postage edge and bought in the fine stitch that comes with the decal, or we could have bought in the pierce line that comes with the scallop. This is what we love about our mats and layers collection. There is so much versatility to build and create with each of them. Something else we love about these collections is the price, which I don't know because I've lost my post-it. So we're going to look over to the independent adjudicator to find us a price for these dies.
No pressure then. They're all $19.99
These
RRP.
as well?
Yes. You made me question then. I'm like, which dies?
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Sure.
Incredibly good value, aren't they?
Oh, very good value. I'm
Good
impressed
value.
by this. I've done several shows with this, and even I haven't picked this up.
I don't know if we've heard
I
from
think I need to
Joanna
get
because
that.
she was very much up for the DL.
She was here on the Sneaky Peek night. I'm
was.
very
I've seen her
enthusiastic about
tonight.
them. She's here tonight, is she?
She's here tonight.
Very nice to see. Lovely. Thank you for joining us, Joanna. So they are your 5 different sets, according to Peter, who I'm not convinced is right. They're only $19.99 each. They're again all available from your stockists. Okay, so shall we do a demo with this collection and stop me just waffling endlessly about things you've possibly already seen? Let's bring in the card we're going to look at. This is one of my favourites, and this is what I love. I know I keep saying that, but this is a collection that Joanna and me have been looking forward to for a very long time, because it is one of those collections that just makes it easy for you to work with, whether they're complicated cards we want to do or quick cards we want to do. You can make them as fun or as intricate as you wish to make them. So let's have a little look while we get some bits ready. Let's bring in our dies, because I know we've chatted about this. Let's actually show you what these dies look like, shall we? So I've got a few different boards here. Oh, I've also got this. You did go and find it. This is the Sparkle Everyday panel that we was chatting about earlier. See, I love it. Can you get now what that whole wiggly bit was about? Can you now see why I was doing all of that bit? It does, doesn't it? It's got that look to it. It has that label look. And again, 2 dies in that one to give you the little set there. We'll pass that one off to Peter, and we'll bring in some boards for us to do our cutting with.
Do I get
So
a
what
gold
have I got
star, do
here? I don't know if you get a gold star. I don't know. Why do you think you get a gold star now?
Take every opportunity.
I don't know. It's always after the stars, isn't he? I don't know if he's deserving. We'll see. Okay, so let's go to our plates and start building this up. So if we bring in our main panel that we're going to work with, and I know that we're meant to be cutting the butterfly, but I actually think I'm going to cut the dragonfly because it's nice to see a different one in action. So we'll bring that in. Now this is what I mean about your separate edge. Of course we could add that round it and then it's going to come out with a fine edge to it. You could also, if you prefer, straight away out of the set, you could of course use your frame. And with your frame, because of the frame cuts with a line either side of it, so there is an edge to either side, so it's always going to cut out a frame. Even if you don't want the frame aspect, you can use this around your panel to give you a different size panel for that to cut out of. Because this part's going to cut, so it's going to then give you that frame part to it. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. But it gives you a different option directly out of the first packet that you've purchased. But we're going to do something different. We're going to bring in our plain dies, and we're going to go for the largest size. And the largest one in the actual nesting set is quite a bit bigger. And that's going to give us all of this area around here, all of this real estate that we can start thinking about what we're going to do with it. Do we want to leave that plain? Do we want to do something with it after we've done it? Or do we want to bring in some of those lines? So let's bring in a pierce line. And we're going to add the pierce line in the middle because I think that could be quite fancy. Now don't forget, not only have we got the pierced, we've got the dash and we've got the stitch that we could have chose to work with. But we're going to bring in the first one of the pierced from in the scallop set, so the largest of the pierced set. And we're going to place that on the top there. And then we're going to find a piece of card. Let's go for a piece of black card, shall we? We'll send this through and see what we get. Do we have any questions or comments so far, Peter?
Jane questions, is that pounds? Yes, Jane, it is 19.99.
Well, we
British
think it
pounds.
is. We're not convinced that Peter's right, Jane. Can imagine all of these stockists getting angry phone calls. Peter told us
They
on
could
a
have been my
live.
doorstep, aren't they?
Peter told us on a live these are only 19.99.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a bargain. Okay, so what we're going to do now, and this isn't really how you should take a die away really, but we're going to do it that way because it's quick and easy. And you can see that all of these parts are all cut for us, and we can just take those bits out of the way. So one pass through our machine, oh, come out, there we go. And that is all cut beautifully and perfectly for us. Can you see that? Okay, let's get rid of that, that's going to help. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? So let's see if we can find a little rolly tool to just take these parts out of these.
Kathleen says she's glad your magnetic sheet is almost as bad as hers.
Well, I wasn't going to confess, but I had to send Pete to get me my plates because I'd taken them through to the other room earlier. And I bought them for her and I thought, that looks awful, doesn't it? It's terrible, but it still works. And the whole time it's working, there's no need to worry. But yeah, they do get a bit of abuse, really. They do get kind of worn and torn. I'm just going to clear these bits out, just because I like you to see that it's all cut beautifully. I never use a rolly tool properly. It's supposed to roll, aren't you? I never find that does any good. I think the bristles just go over it like a car wash. So a little bit of a jiggle with it. And I find that that actually gets the bristles to go in at the holes then. Okay, let's just take those bits out because they look like they want to be a bit more stubborn. Ooh. There we go. Okay, so beautifully cut panel, ready to then be built up and worked on. Now this might be that we're going to add that to a self-adhesive sheet and we're going to place some gilding flakes underneath it. Might be that we're going to put some glitters under it. Might be that we're going to layer that up on a frame instead. The options really are endless, aren't they? And this is what I love about a panel. Not the heavy lifting, but kind of the heavy lifting's been done for us. Lots of the hard work's already been achieved and we can now do the fun bit, we can do the pretty bit, we can do the decorating bit, we can do the bit that I personally really enjoy, which is now taking that really lovely panel and making a quick card out of it that the world's going to go, wow, that looks good. And actually, I didn't have to do the world to create that. You know, it's nice, and sometimes we want to spend the world on it. We want to spend hours on it. But other times we haven't got that luxury, have we? And we just need some quick wins. And to me, panels like this are what I would class as a quick win card, because they're beautiful, they're pretty, but they're not too complicated to do. So for our second part of this one, now obviously quick change there, very Debbie McGee-esque. We're going to get rid of the dragonfly one because we don't need the dragonfly. And we're going to bring in the butterfly that's already been cut for us. And this one's been done from our pearl card. So you're going to notice, actually, we'll bring back the dragonfly. Bring back the dragonfly, there we go. So this one, of course, was done from our plain black card. This is our elite card. This one is done from our foundations pearl card. And this is the graphite, which is a really lovely shimmer, and as you can see, a beautiful shine to it. I've also used our gold mirror card, and we're just going to drop shadow this. So 1mm foam tape on the reverse, and we're going to take this off, and we're going to bring this in, and we're going to try and do this without you having to see me build bit. We're going to drop that down just a little bit. Never easy when you can't see quite over the top, but I think we're good enough there. Now, because we're working on the same size panels, and we've now dropped one across the other, there is going to be a little bit around the edges that we're going to want to go in and trim away, because there's just going to be that small amount from where we've got that little shadow. So we're going to bring in some scissors, and we're just going to hold them diagonally, so we're holding them against the layer. And we do that so that we don't catch that top layer. We don't want to damage this top black layer. We just want to remove any excess. And you can be as kind of pernickety about this as you want to, because it's going to be overhanging on one side, one long side, and of course on the bottom or the top, depending on what way you've done your shadow. So it's down to working out how much you wish to trim off. Now, you could do it on a guillotine before you stick the two together if you prefer, but you're just trying to create that gold halo coming through from underneath. Now, doesn't that look pretty? Now, I know it's possibly a bit more tricky for you to see it on my brown mat, because the gold doesn't show up too well on brown. So let's go that way. Can you see what we're aiming for, or what we've achieved by just foam padding the two together? Now, you don't have to foam pad. We could have stuck that flat, but that 1mm little depth, that little squidge, that gives us a whole nother level of gold shining through from underneath that black cut. Because when it's standing on your shelf, or you've sent it to your recipient, obviously the light's going to come in, they're going to see it from different angles. We stick the two together, we've lost that little creeping of light, that little creeping of gold, or creep out of gold. That's gone. So we're going to bring in now a piece of white to build up on top of, and we're going to turn this over, and we're going to bring in some foam tape so that we can build this up once again onto that panel. And we're just going to run this around the side. We're going to use our 1mm foam tape, and we're going to go down both sides of this and across the top. I might snip it for that top bit, just because we've drop shadowed it. I don't want that to come through. So where did I hide my scissors? There we go. I'll snip a bit from there. Get rid of that. We'll place that onto there. We'll actually cut that bit off. Rarely cut foam tape unless I'm going to put it into a kit. It's only if I'm going to put it into a kit do I worry about properly cutting it, because of if I put it into a kit pack and it's not cut properly, then all this sticky excess bit's going to get on my project. Okay. Let's pull this part away and see what we have created. So we're going to bring in our white panel, because we're going to build up on top of white. And we're going to place that down. I'm going to go off to one side actually, and I think I'm going to get Pete to go get me a guillotine, please, because I think that might be a little bit wide. But we'll come back to that in a second. We'll build up on our card. So onto the card, we're going to bring in the same colours, because we're going to mat and layer to coordinate with the panel that we've been working on. So we're going to bring in our pearl card in the same graphite colour, and we're going to place this down onto our card blank. Let's see if I can find a rule in a minute to give you a measurement for that as well, because the card's got a bit big because I've gone for quite a few mats and layers. So card size wise, 5 inches by 9 1/4 for this one. And then we're going to bring in our gold layer. I'm going to add that one on top. Thank you, Peter. And just take a little bit off the edge of this. Now, I'd always prefer to cut twice. It's better to cut twice than wish that we could stick a bit back on. So yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Let's have a little look. How does that look? Yeah, that looks good on my project. So we'll get rid of the guillotine and we'll bring this in. Now on my final version, I've added some gold gems. Now these of course are our bargain. I can't even think of a better word to give you for them, but our bargain gold gems. We do our gold gems and there's a ridiculous amount in them. It's something like 1,095, I want to say. Am I right with that? Should we send you to get a packet? Go on.
Always making me work tonight.
You are, aren't you? You're up and down like a yo-yo. Okay, but these are our little gold gems, and I've just taken these and I've put them down into the middles of the flower here and down the middles of the butterflies. And I really like this, and I often do this, and people say to me, where did you get that gem from? Thinking it's some fancy gem. This is just sticking one in the middle and then sticking lots around the outside of it to make more of a focal piece, whether that's for a flower or just a pattern or a border, or maybe just something else that we're going to build up with them. But don't ever forget that you can do that. You know, you can build them into bigger patterns or build them into bigger pieces if that's what you'd like to do. Even like this flower at the top here, where that flower had the opening in the middle of it, I decided, well, actually, we'll just build them as the ring going around the top instead. And it's just a nice way to build those up and to create a different look. And then added a bit of ribbon down the side and just tied that, just a 3mm sheer ribbon, just in a tone of gold, because I'd already introduced the tone of gold for the gems and the mirror card. And I always think if you're going to have two tones, actually if you introduce a third, it kind of makes it look more eclectic. If there's only two shades of gold, then I kind of want them to be the same shade, and it looks like I didn't get the match right. Where if I've got an eclectic amount of golds, then it kind of makes it look more intentional. This could all just be in my head, so don't fear if you're thinking, what's he on about now? That's fine. It's just kind of my head and how my head works. So these, of course, are our 3mm adhesive gems I mentioned. There's 1,080 in this packet, not 95. I don't know where the 95 come from, but 1,080. And they're individual pre-stuck, adhesive, sticky, glued, I don't know. They're ready to go. Just pop them off and stick them on. That's all we need to do. And you've got gold ones, and you have got silver ones in that 3mm size. You have got rainbow ones, and we have got ivory ones. Then to get bigger, we have got 6mm in gold, and in these ones we get 504. We have got silver, 504. We've got multicoloured, 504. And then we have got ivory, and you get 372 in the ivory. And you also only get 800 in those ones. I just imagine pearls dearer to do, I should guess. But 372, 800 in those ones. And then we move on, and we have got the 10mm ones. Oh yeah, that is right. 10mm rainbow, 10mm ivory, and 10mm pearl. And then the only other option we do is a 6mm in red and green. In these ones 372, in those ones 88, 88 and 120. But it doesn't matter which packet you're looking at, each one of these, the recommended retail price is £1. Now I do know, and we haven't even chatted about this yet, but Gwen has a little bundle of these coming up on her show next week. So if you're looking at these and thinking, oh, I'd like to get hold of those in a bundle, then do have a little look at the Hobby Maker shows coming up on the 29th of September. Now, whilst we're teasing Gwen's shows on the 29th of September.
What are you up to now?
The products.
He's definitely getting a start.
Look
at the grin.
What have I done?
That he feels he can get. You can tell he's feeling better, can't you? Look at that grin. Go on. What are you gonna?
All I was going to say is that the product arrived at the warehouse today, and it's a very exciting product. Products. I think I know we always say this, and we wouldn't do it if we didn't think you would, because that would just be silly. But I think you're going to love this. Gwen's going to do her sneaky peek for you Thursday at 7 p.m. If you can, make sure you're with her, because I think you're going to really, really enjoy it. I'm not going to tell you any more, actually, because it isn't fair. Let's let Gwen have the big reveal, but you're going to love it. I love it. This is one of those collections that I don't actually have to play with. I really don't. Gwen's going to do lots of samples. the DT's going to do lots of samples. I could actually go, do you know what, I'm really, really busy and I'm trying to catch up and we're way behind, which we are, and I don't have to do it. And Pete will tell you that I haven't stopped, have I?
No.
I've had a lot of fun with this collection, and I don't want to stop, and I've got to, because I've got to get in a box to head to Gwen tomorrow, because if not, Gwen won't have them for Thursday. So I've got to stop playing, but I've really, really, really enjoyed it. And I think that come Thursday night, you guys are going to have a really long shopping list of new additions that you're going to want to be adding to your next orders. I might be wrong, and you're going to have to let me know next Monday what you think. Bearing in mind, Gwen's show times next week are 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. Am I correct?
Correct, yeah.
So we will still be able to do our live Monday night, won't we? So Gwen will end at 7 and we will be live right here at 7 once Gwen's ended. This is all being thought about on the cuff. So if it sounds unplanned, it is. I didn't yet twig that that was going to have to happen, but it will happen and it'll be great fun. So let me know what you think on Monday night of Gwen's sneaky peek on Thursday and her shows on Monday. Now, there was something else I've got to tell you about that. What was it I was going to tell you? Oh, that's what I was going to do. Your question to win your cards this evening. Now, I haven't cleared this from Pete, so I could get in trouble for this too. And it does give you a little hint at what Gwen's going to be up to come Thursday and maybe on Monday. I'm going to ask you to guess how many new dies Gwen's going to introduce you to on Thursday. And we're going to go for packs, not because of some dies are going to have more than one in them. So just for, you know, clarity, we're looking at how many sets of dies is Gwen going to introduce you to come Thursday. Now, I do actually know the number, but I do need you to check it because I don't want to get it wrong. I only counted them once because I was meant to ask you this before we went live and get you to check it and I totally forgot.
Are you sending me to the warehouse? Again?
At some point. Well, you probably know off the top of your head.
Ooh,
I feel confident, but I don't want to get it wrong and then we give it to the wrong word. See, I'm wrong then. That's what I thought. So now you're going to have to go and check. They're here, so he's got no excuse, is he, other than the walk to the warehouse. So we'll send him off in a minute to double check that. But you need to guess for us, how many is there? And we'll pick one lucky winner to win the cards that we make this evening. Okay, so that was our first collection that we wanted to introduce you to and was going to introduce you to on last week's Sneaky Peek up until we got kind of interrupted by technology. Very frustrating. There was another collection that we wanted to introduce you to, and that, of course, is our lovely Sue Wilson Christmas 2025 collection. Now, this again is going to be available at all of the... Did we ever read the stockists? I don't think we did read the stockists, did we? I think I told you about that there was a list of stockists, but I don't think I read them, and I can't check with Pete because it's gone. So if I did read them out, sorry, you're going to get them again. And if I didn't, sorry that I forgot to read them out last time. So, in the UK, these products are available from Craft Bliss, Glitter Bits Crafts, Crafts for Everyone, Julia Watts Crafts, Affordable Crafting, Craft Mania, Into Craft, The Art of Craft, Hazel's Crafts and Gilly's Crafts. In New Zealand they're available from Pictures Stamps and in Australia they're available from J Craft. All of those have probably by now announced that they've got them or probably landed with them. Possibly New Zealand and Australia might not quite have got that yet. But they may well be able to tell you that they're en route and that they won't be far away. Pete might even know. Have they arrived in Australia and New Zealand? The DLs and Sue DLs?
New Zealand, I believe, yes, they arrived within like 3 days there.
Did they?
They did.
Did they? That was very good.
Australia, I don't know for sure, but I should imagine they are now.
Well, if they're not, they can't be far away. So keep an eye on your stockists. As I say, it's my fault. Sorry, guys. I should have checked over the week to see if anybody else has ordered those collections in. But I will be honest, I totally forgot. But I know them people certainly had by last Monday. But keep an eye out on all of our stockists. They're an amazing bunch, and it's nice to sort of support them all where we can. So do have a little look round. So then, moving swiftly on, and then we'll do a Sue demo too, shall we, if we can fit one in this evening. But let's introduce you to Sue's collection before we forget. Now, I'm sure all of you know by now, but just in case you've missed, the lovely Sue Wilson is back with us right here at Creative Expressions, which in my mind is exactly where she belongs. She's got to be with us, hasn't she? And I think we can say that there was a bit of competition to get Sue, but we did manage it, didn't we?
We did.
We did. We did.
It was wooed by our professionalism.
Our professional, I don't think that come into it. Don't. But we're very lucky. Sue's lovely, and I've got on with Sue for years, and it was just a natural fit. And the second it kind of could all fit into place, and we could get back together and get on with what we're doing, it's just been magical, hasn't it? Genuinely. Yeah. And doing the shows with her the other day at Hobby Maker was absolutely delightful. It really was lovely. It was actually the first time me and Sue had ever worked together. We'd never done shows anywhere together, thinking about it logically. We'd never done shows actually in the same building at the same time ever before. So it was really, really lovely. And it was a really nice day, and huge thank you to Hobby Maker for helping us make it happen, supporting making it happen, giving us 4 hours of their airtime, and of course just being the wonderful people that they are. But if you did miss it, we did, of course, introduce Sue's brand new Christmas collection, and I just want to take you through this quickly. I know lots of you might have seen it already, but it's nice to recap for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. This, of course, is our Mini Angel Trio. This has 3 dies in this set. The recommended retail price is $14.99. Why are you chuckling?
I don't know, I've just remembered.
What's going on over there?
Nothing. No, I just
You
remembered.
often chuckle and then you stop, and I can just let it go. But you're over there truffling on at me. What are we laughing at?
Nothing particular. I just remembered that I never thought I'd be taking Sue out on a trip to Greg's to get a sandwich and a donut for you.
Well,
we were bowling
I'm
into
very
Greg's.
grateful that you did.
A surreal experience, but it's really nice. Lovely.
Are you done over there?
I'm done now.
You're done. Can we go back to the
You
angels?
can go back to the angel.
Oh, honestly. Okay, so trio of angels, 3 angels, $14.99 recommended retail price. Again, if you think I've seen these, Jamie, I know Sue does angels. What are you on about? It's always possible. But you might know of the big version of these angels, because of this year what we decided we would do was we would revisit some of Sue's most popular angels from the last few years and bring them to you in mini form. This is something that we know lots of you are doing smaller cards and working on smaller projects. You might also wish to do matching gift tags to go with your cards, or gift bags, or decorations for your tree, or all of the different options that actually having the same image in multiple sizes opens up for us. You might wish to build a little trio of angels in different sizes coming forward on a project. The options are endless, but it does mean that you've got the original size angels, and now we have our brand new mini size angels. As close as we can keep them, because obviously things do change a bit when we start to shrink them down, but as close as we could possibly keep them, we have done them for you to give you the same level of debossing and the same level of cutting that we could possibly fit onto a small format die. When you look at these actually sent through the machine and debossed or embossed and die cut, you can see they're absolutely beautiful. Now, of course, in this set, we are getting our first 3. So we've got 2020, we've got 2024, and we've got 2023. So they are the 3 angels represented in our first mini trio set. Just to give you a few glimpses at some projects here, because we didn't show you any inspiration from my collections, did we? We might, if we get a chance, we'll go back and do a little bit of that. Oh, come back. This one I love. This one's done by Sue, and she's brought in all 3 of them and put them all into their own little circles, which I thought was lovely. This one's beautiful. I think that one was done by Lynn, if I remember rightly. Yeah, Lynn's done that one. Beautiful, isn't it? And then Lynn's done this one as well. And then this one's done by Siobhan. How glorious is that? I really love this. And I love the angel left in white, giving Marilyn Monroe vibes. Then we've got a lovely little one here done by Laura, where she's made a little pop-up box on the side there, and there are Christmas greetings on the front. The trees have been brought into this as well. You'll get to see those shortly. Now a little dinky card here, which is what I love about these, because as you can see right from there, we've gone from dinky cards right the way up to big cards, right the way up to massive cards like Sue's done at the back here. That's probably about 8.5 by 8.5. And it just shows how these angels are going to work no matter what size you want to put them onto. You can build them into wherever you wish for them to be. And then Siobhan's done these, and I love these little gift tags. And I think I shared the first one with you already. Let's pull the little string there. But you can see here how you've got the 3 little gift tags. And this is what I mean, actually, about being able to bring this same imagery into your gift tag to go on your gift bags as what you're doing on the front of your cards. To me, that's luxury. That's really elegant when we can take the same item and run it throughout the project in multiple places. So that's our first one. Our second die that we're going to introduce you to from Sue is our snow swirl. Now this is one big background die that actually looks like it's been created by many different dyes, and this is something I really love. Again, Sue's attention to detail when designing is impeccable, even down to the way that she has debossed lines running around this. Hopefully you're going to see these, but you've got little dashes running around the outside, you've got two tramway sort of railway lines running around the inside, and then even breaking up between the different dot patterns, there's also a deboss line in the middle there. Now that also holds to it a little trick, and I'll show you that with the next die, but it does work. Oh, I'm going to do it now actually before I forget. The next die set we're going to introduce you to is this one, and this is of course our pierced square frames, and in this set is 7 dies, and these coordinate with that so that you can bring in the die from here, place it over the top there and cut that out as a window. It also means if you use those 3 there, you can create a little frame that sits over the top of that background. So this part's from this die, this part's from this die. It's just thought of for you. It's the hard work's been done so that the creativity and the ideas can just flow easily. So we'll come back to that little square die in a moment. We'll focus in on this background one for the second. So just a little glimpse here at a few of the ideas of what you could be creating with this lovely background. And although it is Christmas, because it is of course a swirling snow flurry, it doesn't have to be. It could be confetti, it could be bubbles, it could just be a really fun pattern that you're going to put behind your flowers and your different sort of bits. Especially if you cut the middle out, then you've just got a really cool polka dot style frame, haven't you? Or you could use the middle on its own. So lots of ways you're going to be able to play around with that one. More than just Christmas, which is what Sue prides herself on, as bringing you collections that can be used for Christmas and way beyond as well. Then we've got our pierced square frames. There's 7 dies in this one. This I love because this piercing, you could be stitching through that, you could add ribbon through that, you could make your little notice board style effects and put little things into those if you wanted to. When we bring in some cards that have been created with this by Sue, you can see how beautiful it is, especially when teaming it with other elements from in this collection. This is one of my favourite cards. I absolutely love this one. We actually demoed a version, not the version, but a version of this on our Sneaky Peek Live that we did a couple of weeks ago. So let's get these off to one side. We'll bring in the next die. So the next one, and you've seen this snuck in a couple of times already, this of course is our trees. Now our trees are $14.99, and in this set you receive 3 dies, and they are snowy trees, which are great for paper piecing if you wish to, great for sticking onto a self-adhesive sheet and adding glitter through, or of course leaving it as an open silhouette. There's so many ways in which we could use these and build them up, and they're always going to look fun and creative. So if we bring in a couple of examples with these ones, this one I believe is done by Lynn. Oh no, Laura, sorry Laura, and she's used our crushed velvet paper on the reverse of it. This one Sue's done and created that lovely Aurora Borealis sky and then placed the trees underneath it. Another one here done by Sue where she's used our waxes to create that background. And another one, same idea for the Aurora Borealis, but this time using our gemstones glitter to create the effect instead. I also love the way they fit perfectly with this horse and carriage and this little house. These are of course available dies that we have for you as well. And then this one's lovely too, and I really like the way she's layered Let It Snow on this one, and we'll be looking at that one in just a second. Now before we move on from this one, I do just want to give a little shout out to Mel at Glitter Bits and Crafts, because Mel created this lovely project and popped it in the post to us so that we had it to share with you and share on Sue's shows. And on the top there you've got Christmas greetings, you've got one of the little trees, you've got the papers been used around the project. These of course are the papers that come out with Rodney a little while ago. But when we take the lid off, we have the perfect exploding box that opens out to reveal a 3D tree nestled within the centre of it. And then throughout each of the little sides, we've got the angels, we've got the Christmas greetings words, we've got the reindeers that again come out with Rodney, and we've got the angels, and we've got the peace and the joy. So a little bit of everything nested throughout this one project. And I also really like the attention to detail that those little stitch style squares are creating in the background layer too. I love that project. I thought it was so special, so lovely. I love an exploding box, and I thought that one was really, really special. Now, just a couple more to introduce you to, and we're just going to do these ones by boards because it'll be a little bit quicker and we can get on to doing our next Sue-inspired demo. So these are the sentiments that go with this collection. We've got Let It Snow, which is £6.99. We've got Joy, which is £5.99. We've got Peace, which I also believe is £5.99, but I have lost the post-it to that one. I'm not very good with post-its this evening. Is it £5.99, Peter? Oh, you're on the spot again, aren't you?
Which
Keep
one was
doing
that,
this
sorry?
to you. Peace.
I'd
Or is
like to
Peace
say
dearer?
yes.
I think Peace might be £6.99.
I think you were right with £5.99.
Really? We'll let him look. And then we've got Christmas Greetings as well as our final one. And Christmas Greetings is also £5.99, and that one, of course, gives you the backing plate to go behind the filigree wording. Peace gives you the individual letters with a backing plate, so does Joy. And then Let It Snow, once again, individual letters with a backing plate to go behind them. So lots of sentiments to build up and work in conjunction with this collection. So let's pop these off to one side, shall we? And shall we do another quick demo? Because I'm conscious that it's probably really late and you've possibly had enough of us. Possibly.
It is £5.99.
Oh, you've wowed me twice this evening.
Only twice.
Wow. We've got to keep it real, Pete. Keeping it real. We'll stick to twice. Okay.
A lovely, sorry, your message a bit earlier on, wasn't it, Charlene? Charlene's joining us from Calgary, from the
Good evening, Charlene.
Boutique, isn't it?
Pardon, sorry?
Paper and Ink Boutique.
It is the Paper and Ink Boutique.
And one of the questions earlier was when your cards are a bit different from the standard size, do you make your own envelopes to fit them? And if so, what paper do you prefer for making the envelopes? But
I don't make envelopes, to be honest with you, Charlene. I'm possibly just very lazy. If I'm going to give a card and I don't have an envelope for it, I always wrap it in tissue paper and put a little ribbon around it because I just think of tissue paper looks lovely. Tissue paper, crepe paper, craft paper, even a pattern 12 by 12. If it's a thin weight, just wrap that round it and then tie it in a little ribbon. It depends on if you're going to send it in the post. I don't tend to send many of my cards. I was thinking this earlier when I see a comment somewhere else about postage and costs of that. I think I'm quite lucky because our family is quite small and we're all quite local. Friends, family, kind of all of our associates. So it's rare I tend to post my handmade cards, to be honest with you, which I think is a bit of a lucky one in a sense, because postage isn't the cheapest thing anymore, is it? So it's kind of a bit of a win on that one. But if I'm going to be giving it, then I do like to make boxes as well. I am guilty of making boxes, and I will, any excuse I can, create a little box. Now, we see this one earlier, done by Diane, didn't we? We never delved into this. You might have remembered it from previous. And this isn't quite just a gift box for a card at all, but it does give you a little idea of putting your cards into boxes. And again, because I'm not going to give mine over as such, to the post box, sorry, I'm not going to try and post them, then I'm not worried about them being in a box. So it depends on who you're sending them to and how you wish to finish them off, doesn't it? But I suppose if I'm honest, if I knew that I was going to be sending it in the post and it got to be in an envelope, but then I don't know if I would trust an envelope anyway. I'd probably put it into a jiffy envelope so I could wrap it in paper anyway. But if I was just going to put it into a plain envelope, then I'd probably make the card with one I'd got an envelope for, because I'm lazy. I'm not lazy, just to be intimidated by envelopes.
you'd rather be making cards.
I would rather make the card than the envelope. That is very true. That is very, very, very true.
She likes your idea of the gifting the card, probably in tissue paper, I presume.
And that can be really good fun as well, because it goes back to having things matching and coordinating, especially if you're doing some stamping and there's a stamp that's going to come up on your card that you can stamp over the tissue paper, even if you do it in like a light grey so it isn't too heavy, and then it can coordinate with what's coming up on the inside. I love that matchy-matchiness that handmade brings you. And I do always, and we don't often talk about envelopes, it's actually a really lovely question, but I do always feel with envelopes, it's kind of a bit sad sometimes, and I know that we can decorate them, and I know that sometimes I show that and sometimes we do that, but on the whole I think a lot of us crafters just make this wonderful card and then put it into a white envelope. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it is really nice when we can take that extra moment and make the envelope match the gift, or match the card, and then if we can do the bag and the tag to go with it, to me I think that's really lovely, and it's a really luxury feel. And especially if you're making to sell, that to me, whenever I go around craft fairs and I'm looking at what people have been doing, that's the ones that kind of I radiate more towards, because if you can see that thought's gone through every level and everything's going to coordinate. It's no different to when we buy clothes and we kind of want shoes that match belts, that match bags, that match coats. You know, it's that kind of thought, isn't it? We all want things to coordinate in life. So if we can make that work when we're going to sell them or do them for charity or whatever that may be, or if we're just going to sell them ourselves. So that to me makes me happy if I can coordinate it. Okay, enough waffling, because I think I've just gone off on a random tangent about envelopes. So we're going to bring in this card. Now this is the card that Sue created. We're not actually going to do this because Sue's like way up there, and I just wanted to do a nice quick version of it. So it's not going to be quite as amazing as Sue's version, and we're going to change the colours, I'm going to change everything. But this is where the inspiration comes from, and this is what it's about. That's kind of where we're going to head in a kind of a roundabout way. So we're going to start off with our base layout, which is going to be a piece of coconut white. We're going to bring in a piece of black card, which is actually our foundation's black. And we're going to bring in some glue, and we're going to do this base quite flat because we're going to be building up some of the top layers to it. So we're going to place that one down onto that one to just give us that nice coconut edge around the side. I'd never realised how much I'd missed coconut white card until it came back into my world, and now I can't stop using it. Honestly, it's got such a luxury feel to it and such an elegant feel, such an elevated feel. It's not as bright and white and harsh as white can be. Not that there's anything wrong with white, but it's not quite as bright. And then it's not quite as yellowy as cream and ivory can be. It's just a really lovely luxury middle ground, I think anyway. Okay, moving up to our next layer. So we've gone on to our blue. This is our blue dusk, I'm going to say, but we might send Pete to the warehouse. I think it's blue dusk. Again, from our foundations collection. Then we're going to go back to our coconut ivory, and this time we're going to use the fluted edge squares, and we're going to use the stitch line that comes with the decals. So no different to when we was chatting about our DL set. This time I've used the square version, so that's the fluted in the squares, and then in the centres of those, or in the edges of those, I've taken the line, the stitch line from in the decal, and I've placed that into that, sent it through to cut it out to give me this effect. So if you don't know this, I know we've chatted about these ones this evening and you're now seeing the squares. We do this same setup currently in circles, ovals, octagons, squares, rectangles and DL. And I think that's all of them. And I tell you that because it's a bit like this. It can be nice sometimes. It's like the squares. If you imagine having the squares, and I don't know if I've brought them in actually, but I have got the squares. And you'll notice, if you've not seen this before or you've not heard me mention this, our dies used to be silver. We've now gone to having them done in copper. It's exactly the same metal. It's exactly the same factory. It's exactly the same quality. It just means they spray paint them copper before they're done with them. But it makes them matching with all of our brands, because of all of our brands that do dies, whether that's the woodware dies, whether that's the creative expression dies, and now the Jamie Rogers Crafts dies, they're all this same copper. So you know what brand it come from the minute you see them. But if we hook one of these out, and it's actually beneficial for this, what I'm going to with this idea is what it means is having the same in squares as what we have in our DLs, or maybe we're going to bring in the circles or the octagons, whatever that may be. We can take the matching square and we could take that and we could cut that in 3 times into that DL panel, and we could create our very own background panel with its own apertures. Whether we go for diamonds over that, whether we go for the circles over that, whether we go for the squares over that, up to you. But again, it gives us that option. And around the edge of that, because of these are separate stitch lines, if we was to go for, you could just concentrate and think that we're talking about this big one on the outside, we could then put the same stitch around that aperture. So you've got the decal, the stitch and the decal to create that window. Especially if you're into clean and simple cards, you might just stick a flower in the middle there and happy birthday across the bottom, and that could be your card done. And it could be as simple as that, but you know everything's coordinating because you've used the same edges running through the different sets. So that's why we do all of the different shapes in all of the same options, so that you've always got the ability to go back to all of them and build up your projects and make them coordinate. That's our aim anyway. You don't have to, but it's nice that you know that that ability is there if that's something you'd like to do. So back onto our panel, and this time we're going to bring in another piece of this. I'm going to call it Blue Dusk. Pete still didn't take the hint and go and get me a packet, so we're going to just guess it's Blue Dusk. Poor Pete. Picked on him a lot this evening. It's not fair. Keep sending him running. So we're going to place that down, and then we're going to go for that lovely background die by Sue. Let's see if I can find that on my dies. Here we are. So here is that background plate that we was chatting about. This is all one die, so it's going to cut out as you see it in one swoop through the machine. It's going to add in that deboss detail for us, and it's also going to give us all of those fantastic dots as well. So if you're making a confetti style card, or you'd like to make a shaker card and use all of these little dots in it, that could work really nicely. So not only are we getting the positive, we're getting the negative as well from them. We're going to use this with our glue, and we're going to bring in our little trick here that we do. Oh, it is Blue Dusk, thanks Pete. So that's our Blue Dusk Foundations card that we're using, just so that we know for sure. Because I wasn't sure if it was periwinkle, but I didn't think it was, because I have a feeling we're sold out of periwinkle. So I thought I'd gone for Blue Dusk. We're going to bring in our glue. We're going to place that out onto one of our small blending mats, and we're going to bring in a blending tool, and we're going to keep this die turned over, and we're going to bring in a piece of copier paper, and we're going to pick this up on the blending tool. And if you've not seen me do this before, this is a blending tool I just keep for glue. I don't do anything else with it. I just keep the foam on here for the glue. And we're going to pick that up, and we're going to place that across the top here. And it's just my way of going all the way over a big background like this without having to try and use the glue around every fine dot and detail. It's just going to give me a nice coverage over the panel quickly and easily, so you don't have to watch me glue for the next 5 minutes. Has anybody got the right number for the quiz to win the cards tonight, Ben?
Yes.
Oh, have many people got the right number?
Don't do this.
Don't do what?
I'm not being lured into this.
What? Lured into what? You've got to tell them at some point.
Indeed. Gwen's put the comment, her sound's gone, but she's going to worry now because we're not actually talking.
Her sound's gone, or everyone's sound's
Well,
gone?
I think just Gwen, bless her.
Are we sure?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we can't do any more attempts.
I'm
at
getting a
sign
lot of
language
gold
this
stars
evening.
coming my way tonight.
What? How does this work?
Well, I know she has said I can have a gold star. There was, who else gave me that? One gave me 2 gold stars.
Who are all of these people giving you gold stars, and why? What have you done that's gold star worthy?
Obviously.
Did I blink
hard.
and miss it?
Lovely Pam. Pam said actually, no, she said I can take 2 stars.
2 stars?
Yeah.
I
Someone
don't.
else gave me a star earlier.
I need to know more
And
details.
you've got
of the
lots of
why.
bad stars, I'm sure.
Me? What have I done to get bad stars this evening?
Alison says she missed the question.
Ah,
So maybe we could have a little recap.
Alison, we can. So I'll recap why this is going through the machine. So we've got 2 of our outside edges, and we've got that lovely pierced detailing. Now, of course, this means a bit like we were chatting earlier, that pierce, and we're going to do that as well, because it'd be nice for you to see it. Wait there, let me find another one. These pierced detailings will stay in your card. So again, you don't have to trim them out. They don't have to be as a square. This could be as a little detail. You could even, oh, here we go. I'm going to end up with more dies on this board than I imagined. We could even do it and then cut the middle out instead. So we're going to do 3 different attempts here at one go. What we're then going to do is we're going to bring in, because we're going to layer our frame to go on the top of our project, and we want it to have a matching backing plate. Now, of course, we can cut it twice. We could take it and we could cut that part with the piercing in, and we could remove the piercing, and we could cut those 2 lines again to create our frame. But the chances of me lining them up exactly the same again are quite remote. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to bring in our first layer of card. This is the one that we want the holes to be in, and we're going to place that down. Ignore the bit on the back. I've obviously used some wax on this previously. We're then going to bring in a piece of white card. This is the one that we don't want to have the holes in it. we just want to cut out the panel. We're going to place that on the top. And I've shown you this before because this is a great tip to do with any die that you wish to cut a backing plate to go behind that you don't want to have a filigree version of. So for instance, while that's going through, we have our angel here with our open wings. I've done the same here with the blue version, so that when we come to build that up in a minute, her wings are then filled in and we have that blue shining through. We'll talk more about that when we get there, but this is what I mean about doing it with lots of different dyes to create lots of different effects. Now, before I forget, because I will forget, Alison, your question was, on Thursday, Gwen is going to be here with you at 7 p.m. for a sneaky peek of a brand new collection that she will be exclusively launching on the 29th of September on Hobbymaker. How many die sets are going to be shared with you on Thursday at 7? This isn't a correct answer, don't worry, you've not missed it. This is a guess. How many do you reckon she's going to be sharing with us? Are we looking 5, 10, 20, 100? How many die sets do you think that Gwen's going to introduce you to come Thursday evening? Now, according to the independent adjudicator, somebody has already got the right answer. So the more right answers we get, Pete will have to pick one winner out of those to receive the 2 cards that we've made this evening. So get your guesses in if you haven't already. Okay, so once this has gone through, we can remove this top part. I'll flip this over. We'll have a little look at what we created. So down the bottom here, before we move on to these top bits, we've got this one, which we created with, let's see if we can put something under that so you can see it, with the holes in it and that middle taken out. So straight away we could just keep that as a border, or we could go, actually, well, we're going to thread across that and we're going to make some lovely stitched effects, and that's going to be a little window on the front of our card. This one here, where we didn't add the inside into it, and we didn't use the outside into it, that's just cut and created this lovely pierced effect. So maybe we're going to, again, put some strings across that. Maybe we're going to build up on top of that. Options are there for lots of different ways that we could be using that one, if that's what we'd like to do. But it's the top one we're looking at. So our top one here, we cut our first one, and this will come out joined, and we will find that that has gone through, and we've cut that one perfectly fine. That's our first frame, our top colour, all pierced, all ready to work with. Our second frame, this one here, probably won't be quite as crisply cut because we've gone through 2 layers. We've gone through the black and the white to create it. But what we should find when we flip this over is these white bits, they're going to look like they've cut, but they haven't cut. And they should stay nice and in place. And that means that we can bring in our black frame and put them back over the top, and they're still going to stay there. So what we're going to do is we're not going to push against those white dots because we don't want to push them through. We purposely want to keep them in place. So instead of sort of digging at them, all we're going to do is take a flat edged item. I often use the edge of a die for this, but as I've got a rule to hand, we'll use the edge of the rule, and we're going to take away all of these little die cut bits that are on the top. And then we've got our filled in frame to match in with our dots. So we can then bring this one in, place it over the top of that one, stick the 2 together, and we've then got that white shining through from underneath. Let's get rid of that one. There we go. So you can see the white now appearing through underneath that frame. Everything's going to match because it was all cut in one go. And a bit like we said with the fairies' wings, or the angel's wings, sorry, this is a great tip for doing when it comes to lots of different things. It doesn't just have to be about this square. It works for pretty much all dies in lots of different ways. So we'll bring in our set that I've already created. So we're bringing our coconut white frame and our blue dusk frame, and we'll bring back in our glue and our little mat, and we'll load this up with a bit more so we can stick those 2 together. Any more guesses coming in?
Diane just says she hopes for Gwen's sake it's not 100.
No, it's not 100. Do not fear. Do not fear. It's a mighty collection, but it's not in the mighty numbers. And that isn't some sort of cryptic clue, just not anywhere near 100. But it is going to be a very good collection. I can feel it.
Sheila says you get gold star for the frame tip.
Yeah, it's one we've shared quite a few times, to be honest, Sheila. It's just one that I think sometimes we kind of blink and we miss these things, don't we? So, you know, don't worry. But it's lovely to be able to share it with you because it is sometimes so frustrating when we've got a butterfly die or like the angels and we want something to go behind the wings and we think, well, do we want to fussy cut that? Well, we don't really want to fussy cut that, do we? Because that's a whole faff. So this can be a really easy way to make that work for you easily. So I'll bring that in, we'll place that down onto the top there of our window. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our angel. So we're going to do exactly the same with the angel. We've already got our blue dusk version, and we're going to bring in our coconut white version, and we're going to add our glue to the reverse of this one. And then we can layer that one over the blue. You might choose to drop shadow that slightly so she's got a little bit of blue shining around all of the edges, if you prefer. And then we're just going to give her dress a slight curve. I'm going to do the same with the wings, just to give a little bit of shape. And if you do that tip, and you find that any elements have cut, you've got a little bit of the wing maybe that's cut through, and you're worried about it falling out maybe later down the line, then don't be sort of afraid to just add a little bit of low tack tape onto the reverse of it so that it's got a bit of body and it stays there and intact. But it's rare that you're going to find it's cut through. I use an electronic machine. I'm using the Pro Cut Kit and Caboodle. So it's got an awful lot of pressure. It's an incredible machine for pressure. But even that, trying to cut through 2 sets of card is pushing its boundaries a little bit. So it's rare that you find it breaks through as such. Okay, then we're going to bring in our word piece. And we're going to work with this one. Now, Sue had a great tip for this. And I am going to try and share it with you, just in case it benefits anybody. We're going to bring in the word piece, because I don't think I've got one cut. And we're just going to take these bits off of our plate. And I doubt I'm going to follow the tip, to be honest, because I'm never very good at things like this. But it might be nice for you to see it, if you didn't see Sue share it, just in case it helps you. Because it doesn't necessarily make my life easier, because I'm a bit left and righted, it might work for you instead. So I'll share it with you in case. So we're going to use our backing plate for our word piece. That's one of the dies you're going to receive in the set. And then you're going to receive this one that I'm now using, which gives you all of the letters. Now I've already got my letters cut, but it's not actually the letters I want, it's the outside panel I want. So all my letters are in here, ready to be poked out and used, but it's this bit I want to use. Now Sue was sharing with you how you can take that, you can line that up on the reverse, you can flip that over, and then you can glue your letters back inside, knowing that they're perfectly spread out and in the right place onto that backing plate or onto your card if that's where you wish to put them. As I say, I think that's a great tip and a really helpful one. It's just not one that I'm very good at following. So we're going to do mine by eye. And apologise in advance if it's not perfect, because it probably won't be. I'll probably put the letters around the wrong way, to be honest. But we'll start off with A, because I know where that one goes. We'll go with P next. We start on the right letter and we end on the right letter. We might not notice if the ones in the middle aren't quite right. I'm sure you've all seen them posts on Facebook where all of the words are spelt wrong, but yet somehow our eye still reads them and gets it right, doesn't it? We kind of infill automatically without even really noticing that we're doing it. And then at the end it will say, every word you've just read is wrong. And you go back and you're like, oh yeah, so it is. Or maybe that's just me. Okay, on to our E's. Add on the last one. And if you've not seen these, the way Sue's added all of this deboss detail onto each of these is really lovely. These little stars are so cute. I was trying to think earlier, and you might all help me out with this, because I'm not very good at spelling, if you haven't picked up from this conversation already. But if you've got the word peace and you've got the word joy, what words could we make out of that, other than peace and joy? Have you got any, Peter? I'm just annoyingly put a little mark on this. What's that red come from? I think that's come off my finger. I'm going to get rid of that. What's my chances? Okay, let's see if I can do my little tip. Give us a sec. This might not work, but give it a go. So if I ever get a fingerprint on things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, I'm going to take a bit of foam tape and we're just going to try and take that away. Sometimes we can get rid of it, sometimes we can't. Have you come up with any other words? Has anybody else come up with any other words?
Ace, cape,
Oh, ace is good.
pace.
I used to love that when we did that at school. I was never very good at it.
J,
J.
Jeep, clap, ape, cape.
Now what we could do with these other Christmas related words, I don't
could.
think that's too bad. I think we could get away with that. So just, if you've never seen that done before, just a little bit of foam tape and just kind of taking it back and forth over your finger mark or your little dot or your inky dot. Usually you can get rid of a lot of it. I think you kind of take away the fibres of the card that you've miscoloured, to be honest with you, and that can work a treat. We're even going to see if we can use that bit of foam tape on the reverse so we're not wasting any foam tape. It might be, oh, I don't know, I think it will do. And then we're going to bring that in and we're going to place that over this bottom line just down here. And that will complete card number 2 for the evening. And at that stage, I think we could pick our winner and leave these lovely people in peace. Now, as I said, when we started this one, nothing like Sue's really, but kind of where the inspiration come from, kind of the layout and the idea. As I say, Sue put a lot more work into her. She's used our traditional poinsettia. She's used our diamond white glitter over a self-adhesive sheet and cut out her flowers. She's brought in our lovely ferns and she's used the Let It Snow in the middle. But actually, and this wasn't my necessarily intention when we sort of decided we'd do a version of but not the same, but isn't it nice to see how this collection could work and create so many different styles even out of one look or one idea? Because it's very much Sue's inspiration, but very much a different version. And I think this collection lends itself to doing that in so many different ways. The joy word coming down the side here could open up a whole new idea to it. Maybe placing some trees in there instead of having the angels in there. It's one of those collections that I think you're going to have a lot of fun mixing and matching. And actually, if you do like making bigger projects, maybe you want to do a box and you want that to be each side of the box going around making a 3D project, or maybe you want to do a trifold card and you want to do a different angel in each of the windows. There's lots of different ways you could use that concept, but it kind of gives you the idea of how these dies can work together to make that look. Have you got a winner over there, Peter?
I do.
You do? That was very confidently you do.
I do.
Are you looking for me to get my little sound box?
I am.
You ready? Should we come over to independent adjudicator time? What one do we use? 2 weeks since we've had to play this. Oh, I've got it.
3,
Are you ready?
2, 1.
And the winner tonight is?
Thank you all for all your entries. Tonight's winner goes to... Oh, I'm getting the... Oh, if only you could see the actions. Congratulations goes to Christine Bentley, who correctly guessed. Well, there's a few of you did, so I had to randomly pick one of you. 9 die sets are coming your way next week.
This
Maybe
week,
a
Thursday.
sneaky peek, we're going when Thursday.
Thursday.
So yeah, if you'd like, drop us an email to jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com with your address. We'll get them. I forgot what we're sending out now. The cards.
The cards.
The cards. Sorry.
Peter, we're going to send you out.
Whether you like them signed or not, and we'll get them sorted for you.
Have you done your bit?
I've done a bit.
You've done
Thank
your
you.
bit.
Yeah.
Well done, Christine.
Thank you all for taking
part. It's always a joy to have you join in with our silly questions and comments of an evening. So thank you very much. We will, of course, get these posted out to you. If any of you have any questions about anything we've covered this evening, pop them in the comments quickly and we'll do our best to answer them for you before we leave. If not, just a quick run through of all of the bits and bobs that we've kind of told you about this evening. Our homework project is currently underway on the group. And of course, this week is #autumn. Do check out the events section on the group to find out more details about how to enter, what to enter and why to enter, and what you could of course be winning, which, just a little spoiler, is a £40 goodie bag chocked full of creative expressions goodies that I know you're going to enjoy playing with. So if you haven't already thought about entering, or maybe you enter every week, please don't miss the chance to enter this week, because we would love to see what you've been creating, genuinely. And even if you don't want to take part in the competition and you just wish to share what you've been up to with our products from any of our brands, it would be an absolute joy to see your shares on the group. So please don't be shy, come and join in. I genuinely can promise you it's a friendly group. Whether you wish to ask for, could I have done something different, or whether you wish to ask about a product that we carry, or whether you wish to just share what you've been doing, we're here for all of it. Just come and have a chat with us, come and join in the fun, come and comment on other people's creations and be inspired by what they've been up to. And do look at the competition entries. Even if you don't want to take part in them, this week just gone, the one that we've announced the winner for this evening was #white, and everybody did white work cards. So you can go back and look at 24 different versions of white work cards. And to me, that's a great little library of inspiration. Maybe it's something you've not done before. Maybe it's a colour scheme or a style or a thought or a sentiment that you've not had to create for previously. It can be really nice to see so many different versions all on that kind of topic, colour scheme or theme. So do check them out. And if you'd like to, you can use the hashtags that we give you every week in the search bar on the group to bring them all up. So like I mentioned last week was #white. If you type that in, you'll see all of the entries to that competition. So it can be really good and interesting fun to look back at those. Of course, the products that we have shared with you this evening, they are available from lots of our stockists, as I read out earlier, but just in case you missed it, the DL collection and of course Sue's lovely Christmas collection can be purchased currently from Gilly's Crafts, Hazel's Crafts, The Art of Craft, Into Craft, Craft Mania, Affordable Crafting, Julia Watts Crafts, Crafts for Everybody, Glitter Bits Crafts, Craft Bliss. They're all in the UK, and then in New Zealand you've got Bitcher Stamps, and in Australia you've got J-Craft as well. So lots of locations that you're going to be able to track these down, as well of course as Hobbymaker 2 here in the UK. Now in that little list I mentioned one of our lovely stockists, The Art of Craft, who I'm sure lots of you know as the home to John Lockwood and of course John Next Door. It's also going to be the home to our very lovely Gwen Fletcher. She is going to be visiting just for the day, that is. We're not signing her over, we're not getting rid of her, she is staying right here. But just for the day, we're sending her out to do one of her world famous demo days at The Art of Craft on October the 11th. So if you haven't already got that in your diaries, do pop it in, because it's going to be a great day. They're located in Aldershot, so it's not too far off the beaten track, nice and central, nice and to be able to go to, and it should be a lovely day out with Gwen from 10 till 4 on the 11th of October. Gwen will, I'm sure, be showcasing 2 collections.
I agree.
2 collections,
maybe
3
a third.
collections, maybe a 3rd collection. So lots of inspiration. There will of course be goodie bags that are a complete bargain. There will of course be die of the day, demo day, die of the day. I don't know, we never know the name to that. But there will be some special offers that are worth taking part in going and getting, as well as lots of inspiration from Gwen. I know lots of you have been to Gwen's demo days around the country, and to all of you that have, if you'd like to, tell us in the comments, did you enjoy them? What did you think of them? Encourage everybody who's in the Aldershot area to go and take part in this demo day and make it as successful as the ones that she's been doing in Bournemouth and Liverpool and literally up and down the country. We make that woman travel, don't we?
Me too.
She does get about for us. She's doing an amazing job, and it'll be lovely to bring her crafty talents to Aldershot for the day on the 11th of October. Speaking of Gwen, do not forget she will be back here 7 p.m. Thursday evening with that sneaky peek of the brand new collection that we'll be launching on Hobbymaker exclusively on Monday the 29th of September. There will be, as Pete has confessed, 9 brand new die sets. There might also be another new goodie.
Look at him.
I might not be. I know nothing. What do I know? But tune in on Thursday to spend the evening with Gwen, because I have a feeling you're going to really, really, really enjoy it. If there are no further questions, we're going to leave you all in peace, and we'll be back here Monday evening at 7 p.m. Don't forget on Monday to join Gwen for her shows on Hobbymaker at 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. and we will be here right at the end of that show at 7 p.m. to welcome you in and have another hour of inspiration or so with us over here. So Monday, 2 p.m, 6 p.m. on Hobbymaker, 7 p.m. right here with us. Any last questions or comments, Peter?
No, I don't think so.
Okay then, we will leave you all in peace. From me, good night.
And good night from me. Thank you all for joining us.
Good night
See
all.
you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.